These are images, and what you see in red is the percentage of people who correctly classified them as real or deepfake. And as you see, it is very low. It's below 50%. It's even worse than dropping a coin.
Thanks again for everybody who has joined, specifically the 3 speakers of the TruBlo projects. We're here for the TruBlo Demo Days to have a quick and focused look back at our experiences with this project. We have 3 really interesting projects, and as a constant in TruBlo, quite diverse. They might share the quest for trustable content and the use of blockchain, but otherwise you will find that the projects are very different in their orientation. So I would like to start with Truebees, with Daniele Miorandi, the CEO of the company. And I researched a little bit of background. The company behind this project, UHopper, describes itself as a data intelligence lab, digital forensics and blockchain technology against deceptive deepfake images in social media. So while this is a bit scientific, I think it's quite clear what's after. What the human eye cannot see, you try to uncover. Danielle, is that a good description, or would you object?
I think it was a good description, Mirko, and thanks to you, to Claudio, and to the whole TruBlo consortium for having me here today. So if you don't mind, I can take the floor and maybe show some slides just to, set the scene so that we make sure everybody understand what Truebees is about, and then we can have some fireside chat discussion. Good afternoon, everybody. Daniele Miorandi here speaking, and today I'm here to talk to you about Truebees, our project on artificial intelligence and blockchain against deepfakes on social media. So what we're going to talk about is the diffusion of deepfakes, but as we all know, represents a threat for individuals, organizations, and society as a whole. So, the fact of manipulating images, it's something which is not new per se. I mean, you can remember some example from the good old time of the USSR, where they were removing from images of official events, some politicians who in the meantime didn't really get quite popular. But right now the situation is changing, and it's changing dramatically for 3 main reasons. The first, artificial intelligence, and in particular tools based on generative AI models and methods, think about Stable Diffusion, Midjourney, DALL-E 2, now DALL-E 3, and so on so far, has made it possible for everybody, not just for experts, to generate very realistic looking images and videos. And these images are so realistic that humans, even experts, find it more and more difficult to distinguish between real and AI-generated or manipulated images. Here on the right-hand side of the picture, you see an example coming from a study that one of my teammates did 1.5 years ago, which is kind of, ages in the generative AI world, but still, these are images, and what you see in red is the percentage of people who correctly classified them as real or deepfake. And as you see, it is very low. It's below 50%. It's even worse than dropping a coin. So the problem is real. To exacerbate the problem, we have the fact that now we have social media. So, once something gets out of the box, it can diffuse and go viral very, very fast. So this is the kind of problem that we tackle, and our solution is a blockchain-based system powered by artificial intelligence methods. So it's kind of the good AI versus the bad AI, okay? Able to guarantee that a given visual content shared on social media is trustworthy. Whereby trustworthy, we mean that it has not been generated by an artificial intelligence. This is how it works technically. So we have a web front end, you upload an image, then we compute kind of digital signature of the image. Using a very specific function, which is called a perceptual hash function, in our case, based on a wavelet decomposition. And we basically use this digital signature of the image to check on the blockchain if your image has already been classified by our system. If it has been classified, we return a score what we call the Truebees score, that tells you how likely this image is trustworthy, because we don't have 100% certainty. Okay, so it's kind of a likelihood, but it's a good indication, as I will show in a moment. If the image has never been seen before, what we do is that we invoke our AI component by using proprietary methods, is going to classify this image and tell us whether it is trustworthy or not. And after returning it to the user, we are also going to record it in the blockchain ledger, so that if this image pops up again at some later time by some other users, or even a small variation thereof, we do not need to reclassify it, but we can use this existing score. And of course, the score cannot be tampered with because it is on a blockchain infrastructure, right? So the main features of our solution is, first, the fact that it offers very, very high accuracy. Here, when we published this paper, which was about 1 year ago, we had a 97.99% accuracy. Now it's slightly better. It's 98.05, not much, but it's improving over time, versus 60% accuracy of state-of-the-art solution. And of course, as we are recording the scores on the decentralized ledger of our blockchain infrastructure, this is tamper resistant. So it provides end-to-end guarantees of integrity. This is all a paper, but actually, no, it's live. You can go on truebees.eu. It is fully functional, might not be perfect in terms of usability, whatever, but you can create an account, you can register, and you can start uploading images. And of course, every month, the first 5 images are on us. So you don't have to pay for it. But still, we want a credit card number because it's a software service. Okay, let's have a look at the market here. Of course, we are talking about the deepfake detection solution market, which is still an emerging market. So it's really hard to find some good estimates of its size. Some companies say it's 1 billion, some companies say it's 3 billion. It's still not extremely large, but it's growing very, very fast. Why? Because there is a lot of regulatory pressure, okay? In particular, in Europe, we have the AI Act, but we have, most important, the Digital Services Act, which I remember, the rules are already applying to very large search engine and very large platform operators, but starting from the 17th of February 2024, we will apply to all businesses throughout Europe. And there is one slight modification of the Digital Services Act, which was voted by the European Parliament on the 20th of January 2022, which puts a burden, in the sense of an obligation for large online platform operators to label content that is inauthentic, so that everybody can know that they are dealing with a deepfake and not an authentic or trustworthy content, okay? And this is really creating a lot of pressure in the market. Of course, we are not the only ones active in this market. We have classified competitors into 3 different buckets. So say, the first, there are a lot of research groups which are publishing their code as open source, typically low TRL, limited usability, it's just for experts, hardly maintained, because once you publish, you kind of forget about it. And in many cases, it comes with a license like GPL, which is quite unfriendly if you want to run a business on top of it. Then, of course, we have the usual suspects, big tech companies that have their own internal solution, but unfortunately, typically, this is not accessible to third parties outside their own internal business units. And then, of course, we have a bunch of startups who are offering solutions for detecting a deepfake, so classifying videos, images, or audios are AI generated. They typically have no publicly proven data of the performance. We have a peer-reviewed publication on it, and many are actually focusing on services, frauds in online and know your customer process. Whereas our main target in terms of business are media companies. So our unique selling proposition is that we combine higher accuracy in detecting deepfakes with end-to-end guarantees based on the use of blockchain technologies. As I was mentioning before, this is marketed as a software as a service, subscription-based, cloud-hosted, no setup fees, There are tiers based on the number of images to be verified. The first 5 images per month are on us. Then you start paying how much, starting from 10 cents per image. And if you have a large amount of them, the price goes down, of course. We also offer an optional on-premise version of our solution, and in which case, on top of the subscription, we have professional services for custom settings and integrations. Our go-to-market mainly focuses on an indirect sales model because we want to partner with system integrators and IT providers to cater for enterprise type of customers, okay? Large media companies. We don't think as a small company we can reach out effectively to them. We think it is better to go through partnership so that Truebees can be offered on top of enterprise cybersecurity solution. This is the team. It basically brings together people working for 2 different institutions. We have people working at Hopper, like myself, Diego, Rossana, Stefano, Luca, Nicola, but we also have people from University of Trento with whom we developed together this project, in particular Professor Giulio Boato and Antonio Luigi, who have been working on digital forensics technologies for deepfake detection for more than 10 years, and they are really top-notch in this specific setting. This is our contact, and if you want to know more, just go on www.truebees.eu. I'm sure it's actually easier to understand how it works, but by trying it out yourself rather than listening to me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much. I would suggest to the entire audience, if you have questions, please feel free to use the chat to list them up, and I would then pick them up and ask you to give you the opportunity to ask the question right away. For now, if you agree, Danielle, thank you very much so far. We would move on to the second project, just to have all of the projects with 15 minutes being able to show what they have been working on. So we would then move on to Mirko Kikovic.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Can you see the screen?
We can.
Yes. Okay, let me present you then OTTCT by NVIDIA and Derivium, an AI tool that helps fighting the crypto scams. When I say crypto scams, whether these are Ponzi, pump and dump, pyramid, whatever, they pose a significant financial impact, and they happen really fast. You remember the Terra Luna that wiped out 40 billion in 7 days. Also Celsius, FTX, and we have a long-lasting effect of that FTX right now. So what is interesting about these scams is that the main vehicle for this is the social media. For that reason, we built OTTCT, an AI tool that spots malicious behavior on social media and reports red flags to investors. We are really grateful to NGI TrueBlo, where we were admitted to the program with the initial idea that we conceptualized in NGI TrueBlo, published our scientific publication on Terra Luna case, chosen for the top 3 open call to finalists, built our MVP, and got valuable feedback from the users. In our MVP, users can check the specific crypto coin or the company in a given time frame and check the authenticity of their tweets. What is quite interesting here is that this is the solution that is available right now on our website, and the users can check this authenticity. But we also created a smart contracts template, as you mentioned, Mirko, that will be really important in the future because we are not dealing only with analysis of crypto social media. We are also debunking with the additional analysis of economical data and creating the smart contracts that will be the top-notch investor protection. So as you can realize, our technology resides on 3 pillars. These are AI with social media analysis. This is the data science with economic analysis, and a blockchain with smart contracts enforcement. Just a sec. So our market, as we're in crypto, is quite huge. We all know that. But basically, we are not only thinking that our market is crypto. We are more in the AI and fintech space or more or less in crypto asset management. Must say that our solution is innovative. So in a sense, we identify the competitors for the solution, but we are basically trying to be a bit different with an innovative solution that is giving the realistic analysis that is basically quite inexpensive, and we are really fast since we are providing the solution as a real-time analysis. So in that sense, we are positioning properly towards competitors, and the competitors are huge companies and really big. But again, I say that innovation is on our side because we're really building something different. So I really believe that tackling these competitors is possible by these two companies, NVIDIA and Derivium, with people with diversified skills that work together on many projects before and are really united in a future joint venture that we're going to create. As I mentioned, we are united as we successfully participated in many programs and accelerators, as you can see on this list. And this really helps me be sure that we are going to succeed in the challenges that we have, because one of the topics of this call are the challenges as well. So I'll present what was our major challenge that actually happened. This challenge was change of the price policy of the Twitter. As you may notice, that Twitter actually changed the model that they are charging for their API calls, and their terms and conditions are no longer allowing charges of the analysis that are based on their platform. And what is worst, based on the initial traction, API calls are significantly increasing our operating costs. I will tell you that in the last 10 days, 2 times we had 400% rise in the pools of the data. It cost us around 350 euros, but with this exponential growth, we can actually come to the point where that will cost us 40K per month, as it was presented by Twitter. But on the other hand, we are really happy that in 10 days we had 24,000 pools in our platform. So that speaks a lot. And of course, we found a way to overcome this challenge. As I mentioned, these are the great teams. We did what it takes. We changed our business model. We changed our business and marketing strategy. We realized that we want to include the overall analysis of social media, to include more social media in the analysis so that we can charge actually for the solution, and also position ourselves as an objective tool for investment analysis. Therefore, in our marketing efforts, we started educating people about crypto scams, crypto frauds, position ourselves for the future. In the recent future, we are adding 3 more social media. That would be LinkedIn, Facebook, and Reddit. And we are getting the other sources of public data and also working on a data poisoning, trying to improve the accuracy of our solution, as the common problem that Daniela mentioned as well. What are the good news that I can share now is that based on these developments, we are being selected for the ELSA program among tough competition in that sense. And I have to put a disclaimer, since the news is quite fresh, and we are still in a process of preparing the contract. So we'll start in December. So you will see a lot of good things going on from OTTCT. What is also good is that we're having a lot of feedback from the users and from people that we are approaching to test the solution. One of those was a crypto exchange. They actually started the talks about partnerships. We found a new value that listing managers of crypto exchanges can actually check the new coins that are coming to the market and check if they are fraudulent, not to enlist them. This was really, really interesting, and it really gives us really good hopes for the future. I would say that we had high hopes for the future because in overcoming these challenges, we had some secret ingredient, and I will share that with you. That secret ingredient was humor. What we actually did is that we joined the new platform, Threads, and in a first mover advantage, we made a significant following on this platform, but we did that with memes. We did that with humor, educating the users how OTTCT works in a very funny way. But not only how OTTCT works but also explaining how to educate themselves on the crypto scams and crypto frauds. As you can see, crypto scams are pretty dumb. So in that sense, we explain that to our users. And as you can see, the engagement in a platform is rising. People are replying, considering us as saviors of the industry. Of course, that is something that we want to use to build up the community, to explain them how these scams work. Also, we have a blog posts that are coming up each week, educating people on different type of frauds, summarizing them, and also sharing them on social media. And what we got is basically what kept us going on. And these are the comments and support that people were liking our memes, that people are telling us that we're going to save the crypto industry, that people are really committed and supportive in that sense. I picked 100 and more comments in that sense, but this is just a few. I invite you all to go on threads and really see what we're doing out there. And I bet you will like it for sure. A topic of this week is an exit scam, and I must say that we are here to stay. So in that sense, we are here to stay because we want to create a huge impact, and that is our drive. Actually, we want to redefine relations between investors and companies, and that's something that we're doing for years. And we want to also get the better ways of data collection and data poisoning to solve that everlasting issue. What we will do also is to increase the transparency of companies. And by increasing this transparency of companies, we expect that we will provide I would say, inclusion of those people that were strangers to investments before, to most vulnerable groups, or any people that were not sufficiently educated to get into the space. But being transparent, getting the data properly, and building the true relations between companies and investors, we think that we can do that. These are our links. You can follow us and check our beta on OTTCT AI. You will find interesting solutions overuse it. Okay, it's cost us, but overuse it. Come on. And you can check also our social media. Put some likes on that. And if you need any additional information, these are our contacts. And feel free to ask any question after this presentation. Thank you so much.
We move on to the third project, to Christos Stefanatos from ENARXIS.
Yes, of course. Thanks for having me. Great hearing the news from the rest of the projects. And allow me to quickly share my screen. And here we go.
In the background of your video, we can already see what it's all about. So if I can introduce you from my perception, we've been working together for the active time quite a bit. We had quite a few meetings. And what I really liked about ENARXIS, or EV Loader, ENARXIS being a smaller part of the larger EV Loader, is how pragmatically you're going towards an existing market, like managing the use of electric vehicle loading stations. Is that right?
That's correct. That's correct. Sorry, am I sharing? Yeah, I'm sharing the correct screen. Okay. Yes. So yeah, also the journey within TruBlo was very exciting for us as well, and the mentoring sessions were actually valuable on our, at least our experience from all the mentoring sessions, and technical mentoring sessions were really good for us to move forward. And let me share how we addressed our project within TruBlo and how it fitted within our broader business case. So let me start with our business case, what we do as a commercial business with our existing clients. We are a startup based in Greece. We have developed a platform that helps businesses that have installed charging stations to manage their charging stations and collect payments from users. Probably in most of our viewers have seen electric vehicles and electric vehicle charging infrastructure within their countries, so this could be something familiar to you from other competitors. We are very focused on public charging stations located in hotels, so we have not many really ultra fast charging stations. We have many medium capacity charging stations where the users stay for longer. They park their vehicle, they go out to grab a bite in their hotel and so on. But why am I explaining all this? What we saw, what we proposed within TruBlo was a challenge that we saw within our clients. And our clients, the owners of hotels, for example, or other drivers that arrived in the hotel and found the charging station occupied, they noticed that many times a driver parked his vehicle and then the vehicle had fully charged, but it would remain in the parking spot. Or the driver would reserve a parking spot. We have this option where the users can reserve a charging station in advance and then not show up, but keep blocking the charging station for a few minutes. So these were challenges that led to loss of revenue for the charging station owners that had invested in placing their charging station there, and frustration to the drivers, of course, because they didn't have the optimal experience when other drivers weren't acting prudently and they were not using the platform and the charging station as they should. So I'm trying to really look at what we developed within TruBlo at a macro level. So what we did was we created a driver wallet for each of our users, and then this wallet would increase its number of tokens when the driver completed a charging station within time, a charging session within time and within schedule, and would drive away of the charging station, leaving it available for other drivers. He would be rewarded, he would increase his balance, and then in cases where he would leave his vehicle unattended for longer, he would lose tokens. And as you imagine, in order to perform charging sessions or reserve in advance or unlock some benefits, he had to remain above a certain threshold. So essentially, it was a reputation system, a reputation management system for drivers of electric vehicles. And our goal with this was to actually be able to take this this reputation rating system, those wallets, and connect them not only to our platform, which is 300 charging stations in Greece, but also, for example, to PPC, a Public Power Corporation of Greece, that has 1,000 charging stations, and so on and so on. So take this reputation rating system and make it universal across different charging providers. That's the whole reason of using DLT technologies as well and driver wallets instead of having this rating in our server. And we actually talked to stakeholders. We even released a paper outlining our methodology and the mechanism behind the ENARXIS system. But here we go to the issues that we faced. So on our side, we're a small team, and stepping away from our main development and developing this solution increased the complexity and time needed and resources needed. And but the main problem that we faced after we did all this development, because part of this development was subsidized by TruBlo project, that's why the project is there. But then the issue we faced after we started talking to PPC and other stakeholders was the actual integration. Because in theory, you have driver wallets sitting on a distributed ledger, and other entities could set up an Oracle and use this information. But in reality, the stakeholders were not ready or were not willing to deploy resources to do that. And making things even more complicated, many of those stakeholders had not developed the charging solution in-house. So they were using a white label software that was received as is, and there was very limited flexibility for customization. So when we said, in order to use this, you need to do so and so and so, nothing moved forward. So the learnings we received from this was that we should slightly pivot our existing deployment to core functionalities for those stakeholders. For example, do not make it about reputation of drivers, but actually make it about making charging sessions happen in a more convenient way, for example, which is the main challenge for most stakeholders right now. Reducing the steps, reducing the registration needed, reducing the number of apps needed to perform a charging station. So what we did along this front is to apply again to NGI Trust Chain using our existing infrastructure with the EV driver wallets, but now taking it one step further and making use of the new ISO protocol that also allows us to store information and certificates within vehicles. So we have the driver wallets, and through the driver wallets, we can generate identity certificates that are then stored within vehicles. And as you understand, doing so, we can authenticate users using minimal amount of information by obtaining the identity certificate that is stored within the vehicle. And this identity certificate contains only the information necessary to perform the session and no more information beyond that. So speaking on our case, as Mirko mentioned before, I do believe that still the technology is in early stage, but it has a lot of potential beyond, in my opinion, beyond crypto. And it takes time and patience and resources to step by step to iterate and arrive at a solution that will make sense to multiple stakeholders, so that other stakeholders say, okay, we should try this. And then you achieve interoperability and you actually have a solution that is not complexity for complexity, but it's complexity that leads to better, more efficient solutions, and it ends up simplifying a very complex business case. That is my view. Also, beyond our activity in distributed ledger technologies, just mentioning that we are active in R&D projects around smart charging, which is also another area where distributed ledgers could be beneficial. So I'm just laying out here that anyone that is looking for a partner that has access to electricity grid transaction data, charging sessions, data from smart meters, we could be really valuable partners, as we have been in multiple projects with large stakeholders. That's all on my side, and I'm looking forward for the discussion that follows.